Hello and welcome to another live class at English with Speaker. My name is Tanya and I'm your English teacher. So I'm waiting for YouTube to notify that I'm live and you can learn new things today. While you're joining, I'm going to check that everything is fine and you can hear me well and you can see me well. So just a second. Great. Perfect. So, checking that it's all working. And good. Oh, yeah, right. I also need to open one more thing. So, how are you today? Let me know what mood you're in today. How has your day been so far? Maybe it has just started, maybe it's the middle, the end. For me, it's like coming to an end, kind of. It's 5 p.m. in Budapest. So, yeah, we're moving slowly to the end of today. Yeah, but it's the beginning of a live stream. So how are you today? Welcome to the new class. Right, so in the chat, Dimitru, hello, how are you? Let me know, how are you today? How's your mood? How has your week been? Because I haven't talked to you in the whole week. So let me know how you are doing. So far, I need to open one more window with YouTube so that I can reply to you in a chat in case you have any questions or like you actually need to see it. So I'm going there and waiting for you to join the chat. Okay. All right, I see a smiling emoji, so I guess you're in a good mood. Okay. Yes, so now I can type in a chat. All right. I am feeling well myself. Yeah, and I don't know. We've been having this great weather and I'm actually fan of heat. I really like it when it's hot. But I think it's actually taken its toll on me as well. Because it's been hard and I'm not the type of person who will use an air conditioner. I just never do. But lately, especially for the past few days, I really, really wanted to turn it on. But usually by the end of the day, and then it's like evening, it's quite windy, it becomes better, I can breathe, and so on. So, if you're new here, hello and welcome to my live class at English with Speaker. My name is Tanya. I'm an English teacher and I've been teaching English for 15 years now. Wow, it's crazy to say so, but yeah, for 15 years now. And it's wonderful to have you here with me today. It's wonderful. Join the chat, say hello in the chat. Yeah, just let's greet each other. And as you can see, today we're going to learn how to sound more professional. So we will move your English from informal, the one that you can use with your friends, basically with your friends and family, right? But I know that you may also work in an English-speaking environment, or maybe your company is moving in that direction and you have to know business English. You have to speak professionally in English. So how do we do that? We are going to learn that. And how we are going to do it, let me explain. I will describe a speaking situation and give you an informal phrase. You will actually see this informal phrase on the screen. Your challenge is to switch it to formal, professional, and polite alternative. So you think how you can change it, or how you would change it, how you would say it in a professional environment, right? Then we will analyze the best answers, and we will also practice intonation and tone of voice, which is very important because that, as you understand, our intonation, rhythm, our tone can make one phrase, just one phrase, sound differently in different environments, right? So I hope that you are ready to master this formality switch, let's call it so. And yeah, let's be professional. Let's become professional. Okay, I hope that you are ready. Don't be shy. In the chat, you can type, I'm ready. Yes, let's do it. Let's hype up each other. Also, like when you're active in the chat, I do understand that you are there. Okay, right. So our first situation is the following. By the way, again, if you're new here, sometimes my OBS, this is the software that I use, an application that I use for the presentations and for live streams, sometimes it disconnects. I have no idea why. So what I usually do, I do this switch. You will see this, and then I will quickly, sorry, oh my god, quickly hop back. Oh no, sorry, just a second. Where is my presentation? Yes, here it is. Sorry about that. Oh my god, for a second I thought I lost it there. No, it is here, it is with us. Dimitri is is not shy. This is great. This is great. So, the situation. You're at work. You are speaking to your manager because you're struggling with a task. You're at work. You're speaking to your manager because you are struggling with a task. To struggle with something means to have some difficulty doing it. Okay. And you come up to your manager and you say, I can't do this, I need help. I can't do this, I need help. This is too direct. It sounds like you are complaining and not offering a solution. So how can we switch this to a polite, professional request for assistance? What would you say to a manager? Put your professional sentences in the chat. I'm waiting for you there. I'm waiting for you there. So just in case, the situation again. You're at work. You're speaking to your manager because you're struggling with a task. You come up to the manager and say, I can't do this. I need help. But this is inappropriate in this situation. So what would you say to a manager? Not these words, something else. Let's see. Do you have any alternatives? More professional alternatives, business-like, more formal alternatives. For friends, yeah, it's okay. But of course at work, it's not appropriate. So what would you say? Waiting for your alternatives. All right. What do you have on your mind? Share with me. Share. Okay. What is an alternative for a professional business English alternative for I can't do this, I need help? I can't do this, I need help. Okay, what would you say? I will give you like 10 to 15 seconds more, and then I will show you what you can actually say. While you are typing your answers, I'm going to take a sip of water. Every time I drink water during live streams, I hope that you cannot see me, you cannot hear me actually like swallowing it, but I feel like you do because I can hear that. So, Do you have any alternatives? Okay. Then the first one, and again, let's switch it. Sorry about that. Okay. So the first one is, excuse me, and then manager's name, let it be Karen. Yeah, excuse me, Karen. I'm facing a bit of a challenge with the X, where X stands for the name of the project. I'm facing a bit of a challenge with X project. I was hoping I could get your guidance on it. Excuse me, Karen. I'm facing a bit of a challenge with the Kit Kat project. I was hoping I could get your guidance on it. All right, this is a more formal way to say I can't do this, I need help. Yeah. So let's break this one down. When you say, instead of I can't do this, you say I'm facing a challenge. And you don't say I need help. You say I was hoping for your guidance. And pay attention to the preposition on and then something on it. I was hoping for your guidance. Now, another alternative is, do you have a moment? I'd appreciate your input on something I'm working on. So again, instead of I need help, you say I'd appreciate your input on, and then you give something that you're working on some task. On this task, on that task, then you name it. So this actually shows that you are proactive and not helpless. It's important to show at work with your English as well that you are proactive. The main part about speaking, about your intonation and rhythm is that your tone must be calm and questioning and not demanding. Your intonation should go up slightly at the end of the question. Like, do you have a moment? It makes it a real polite question. Do you have a moment? Let's practice that. Do you have a moment? And pay attention that even though it's professional business English, we still link these words together. You don't say do you separately, you say do you. Do you have a moment? All right. Okay, now we will move on to the next situation. So the situation is, you're in a team meeting. Your colleague suggests an idea you think will not work. So you're in a team meeting. Your colleague suggests an idea you think will not work. And you say, that's a bad idea. Okay. So, how would you switch that? So far, I see that chat is active thanks to Dimitru. Yay! First one is nice. Yes. They're both nice. I guess the first one is a little bit more unusual because we wouldn't put it that way. And the second one is more usual, let's say so. At least like we all have heard it before, right? So now on to that's a bad idea. You never say this in a professional meeting. It's rude and it will shut down the conversation. It will just stop it. So let's think how we switch this to a respectful and diplomatic disagreement. We need to show how to disagree, or we need to show that we disagree, but in a very diplomatic and respectful way. So how do you show you listened but have a different opinion? Let's see your ideas. What are your ideas? Let's see. Both nice. One is simple. Yes, that's right. So the first one is quite unusual. The second one is simpler. It looks simpler. Yeah, but I definitely recommend actually remembering these phrases, because there are some sentences, there are some phrases that you better remember as one thing, because then your brain wouldn't have to think twice, like which word I should use, when I should use it, how I should use that. You already know it as a set expression. So it will make things easier for you. 100%. What about that's a bad idea? This is definitely not respectful, non-diplomatic. So how would you say that's a bad idea, but in a more professional way? So here's the first one. Again, just a second, switching like that, and here we go. Just a second, I also need to turn my phone off. Okay, so the first alternative for that's a bad idea is, I see where you're coming from, but I have some concerns about the budget for that. That's the first one. I see where you're coming from, but I have some concerns about the budget for that. So I would recommend actually memorizing like the whole phrase, I see where you're coming from, but either to that point, or I see where you're coming from, but I have some concerns about, and until that moment, because after about there can be anything, right? Like I see where you're coming from, but I have some concerns about the colors. I see where you're coming from, but I have some concerns about the quality of the fabric. I don't know. It depends where you are working, where you work, right? And another way to say that's a bad idea is this. Oh, sorry. My head, I guess, is too big for that, but I will read that out for you. That's an interesting perspective. Like here you show respect, yeah? That's an interesting perspective. Have we also considered an alternative approach, like, and then you offer your idea. Have we also considered an alternative approach, like, and then your idea. Right. Now, I have one more useful phrase. I didn't put it here for some reason. I somehow skipped that, but I will write it in the chat. So one more good phrase for, instead of saying that's a bad idea, is I respect your opinion. However, I see a potential challenge with, and then something. I respect your opinion. However, I see a potential challenge with, and then you say something. I'm going to put that in the chat. And right, you say this instead of that's a bad idea. Yeah, now you can see that in the chat. And I will pin this message. Okay. So notice the strategy. It is always important to acknowledge something when you come up to a person in a, of course, not only in the business environment, but when you're with friends and family, they can kind of cut you some slack, because they may understand that you're in a bad mood, or there was some chain of events that led you to this reaction, right? But at work, People actually don't have to see that. You have to stay professional. Yes, we're all people. Yes, it all happens, but we have to stay professional. So you have to acknowledge that other people may be pressed with time. That's why in the previous one we asked this question like, do you have a moment? Yeah, or do you have a minute? And then you give, then you ask for something. In this case, you acknowledge the idea of another person. Yeah, you acknowledge this idea, and where you say, I see where you're coming from. That's an interesting perspective. I respect your opinion. So like you acknowledge this person, and then you pivot. Yeah, so you have to show respect, and then you present your point as a question or a concern, and then it would not sound as a direct attack. Like we never mean to attack another person, but sometimes it may sound like this, and we don't want that. That's why instead of just saying that that's a bad idea, I have a bad idea, you point it as a question or a concern, like have we considered, or I have some concerns. So like you make this other person think about their idea from a different perspective. Yeah, you don't criticize, you make people think, and this is very important. Here the key is your body language. When you say this, you should like lean in slightly and maintain eye contact. And of course, you have to have an open posture, because these non-verbal signs will match your polite words. Like you have to show that you're open, that you meet this person with a friendly gesture, you have only friendly intentions. Yeah, you want to show that you are ready to collaborate. Yeah, and you're not confrontational. So these are all connected. Today we're learning not only English language, but also non-verbal English. Right. So I hope that you found these phrases interesting, and I hope that you will use them in your work environment. Or maybe at business meetings, who knows, right? Let me know in the chat how you're doing there. I hope that you find them useful. You can, by the way, send hearts like that, or these 100s, or yay, fireworks, or whatever, like crackers. I don't know what they are. I don't know how to call them. Yeah, so you can react the way you want. You can talk to me in a chat, or here, send some reactions. While you're doing so, we will move on to the next one. And this one is big. It's apologizing for being late. So again, while I was talking, my app disconnected, and now we are here. This situation is, you are 10 minutes late for an important meeting with a new client. You walk into the room and say, sorry I'm late, the traffic was crazy. Sorry I'm late, the traffic was crazy. So again, the situation, you're 10 minutes late for an important meeting with a new client. You walk into a room and you say, sorry, I'm late. The traffic was crazy. While sorry is good, the whole phrase sounds a bit casual, and giving an excuse immediately can sometimes sound weak. So how can we switch this to a more professional and accountable apology? Yeah, what can you say? How can we switch that? Let me give you a couple of minutes to think about it. Not minutes, sorry. 20 to 30 seconds. Okay. I see Dimitri is noting everything down. That's a very good way to actually remembering things. Yeah, when we write things down, it is proven that we remember things better. That's why I'm such an old school teacher and girl. I have tons of notebooks. Like on my desk so far, I have 4, and also I have the whole stack in my side table. Adam, hi. Hello, Adam. Welcome to the live stream. All right. So, what can you say instead of sorry I'm late, the traffic was crazy? Yeah. Here's the first option. Okay. Let me switch. And I'm back. All right. If I have some tech-savvy people here, tell me, why does my app disconnect with my presentation? All right, so instead of sorry I'm late, the traffic was crazy, you can say my apologies for the delay, thank you for your patience. My apologies for the delay, thank you for your patience. Short, professional, and takes full responsibility. Or, I sincerely apologize for my tardiness. Tardiness is a formal word for lateness. Tardiness. I sincerely apologize for my tardiness. I appreciate you waiting for me. Shall we begin? So, the pro move here is to thank them for their patience. You appreciate, you acknowledge, and that's the main point about business English. You acknowledge their patience. Yeah, you acknowledge their time. You acknowledge that their time is valuable, and you immediately move the focus forward. Yeah, you take this responsibility without dwelling on a long excuse. So the point here is when you are sorry, I got distracted with the chat. So the main point here is that you don't have to explain why you're late. Your point here, the main point here is that you say sorry, you apologize, and then acknowledge that they patiently waited for you, and you see that and you appreciate that, and then you move to the presentation, to the discussion, to the documents, to whatever you have to move to. This is the most important thing. Actually, at work, no one is interested why you're late, right? Your point is to be apologetic and just move on. And that's it. Hi, Basma. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Dimitri, you're a real gem. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, using vocabulary from our previous live stream. That's amazing. Whew. I like it. I like it. Okay. So when you say this, your tone should be serious and sincere. Like you look the person in the eyes. You look the person in the eyes, speak clearly, and then be ready to move on. So don't sound flustered, sound calm and in control even when apologizing. You have to show that you are professional. Yeah? My apologies for the delay. My apologies for the delay. You are confident even when you're late. Even when you know that you do something wrong. Yeah. Or even when you know that you've done something wrong. Okay. Reflexoes. Sorry, I'm trying to read it. I assumed it is in Spanish. But probably not. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm trying to read your name, but it is hard. It is hard. Anwar, hi. Hi. Hello. Adam, I'm from India. Hello to India from Hungary. I live in Hungary, but I'm not Hungarian, just in case. Okay, and then I hope that you enjoyed that part. We are moving on to the next one. The next one. asking for clarification. Like when you were told something but you didn't understand, you have to clarify this thing, yeah, in order to complete the task, for example. So, the situation, you're in a training session and the presenter says something you don't understand. And you say, what? I don't get it. I sounded really rude, right? I don't think that I would even say that to a friend. Maybe I would. I don't know. But my intonation was really rude. So you're in a training session and the presenter says something you don't understand. And you say, what? I don't get it. What's the professional way to say it? Because this is too direct. And you can sound like you are accusing the speaker of being unclear. So how do we switch this to a polite request for someone to repeat or explain something in a different way? So what do we do? How do we switch this to a polite request for someone to repeat or repeat or explain something in a different way? What can we say instead of what? I don't get it. What do we say? How do we do that? Do you know any ways how to clarify things that you don't understand? Waiting for your suggestions in the chat. Maybe you have some ideas. I would be happy to see them. I will give you 5 to 10 seconds more. And so far I will drink my water. Okay. Then I will show you what I have prepared for you. The first one is, could you please clarify what you mean by, and then there can be any word. I just put synergy. Could you please clarify what you mean by synergy? Or instead of synergy, there can be any idea. Yeah, any idea. Doesn't matter. Whatever the person was explaining to you, could you please clarify what you mean by, and then the idea that person was talking about. Okay. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Can you repeat again? Can you say? Excuse me. Can you repeat that again? Can you say the same? Well, to be honest, if you say these, can you repeat that again? Could you say the same? The person would not explain the idea. The person would just say exactly the same words. And your task is not to ask them to repeat, but to explain. Yeah. That's why you can say, could you please clarify? This verb is perfect for clarification. Yeah, to make things clear. Then another option is, I'm not sure I follow. It's like, I'm not sure I understand. Yeah. You can also say, by the way, yeah, you can say that when you talk to a friend or to a family member, when they're explaining something and you're like, I'm not following. Like, I don't understand what you are saying. Yeah. I'm not sure I follow. Could you elaborate on that last point? Elaborate is a great formal verb. So yeah, you can use that verb, elaborate. And I have the third option for you. It starts with so. Sorry, the circle with my head is too big. So, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that. And this one is great for checking your understanding, because after you're saying that, you say what you understood, what has just been said by that person, and the person tells you yes or no and then clarifies, right? So let me read these three phrases again. Could you please clarify what you mean by, and then you can put any idea or word there. I'm not sure I follow. Could you elaborate on that last point? So if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that, and then you say the idea or say the things that you understood from what the person was saying. And the person will either confirm or deny if you understood correctly. Yeah. So again, I'm not sure I follow is a soft and humble way to say I don't understand. Yeah, it puts the focus on your own understanding and not on their poor explanation. You see what we did here? So sometimes we may say like the phrase I don't understand the way that that other person that was explaining things would think that they did a bad job at explaining. When here, when you say I'm not sure I follow, we put the focus on us. Like, we don't understand, and that's my problem, not your poor explanation. I hope that you got this idea. So your intonation should be curious, yeah, and not demanding, because you want to clarify the idea. Like, you're genuinely curious about that idea or the word or what has just been said. Right. And we are moving on. Okay. I have a question, sorry. Ma'am, what's the name of your accent? Is it British or American? I honestly have no idea because I'm not a native speaker. Let me stop you right here because I'm not British, I'm not American, Australian. I'm not coming from New Zealand or any other English-speaking country. So I'm originally from Russia, but I've lived in many different countries and talked to native and non-native speakers with different accents for a long time. So I'm not sure. The only thing that I can say is I really love British accent, I think as most people. And I love, but again, there are so many British accents. So, and I cannot specify which one I like the most. But by the way, on Thursday, I'm posting a lesson on my channel, more like a talk video. If accents matter or not, and if English learners should strive for some certain accent or not, and if it's worth it or not. I answer many questions that I've been asked for over 15 years. Yeah. So I finally decided to reply to all of them. Okay, so next one. And by the way, the last situation where we learn how to politely interrupt other people in a business environment. Okay, so the situation is your two colleagues are deep in a conversation, but you urgently need to ask one of them a very quick question. And you say, hey, can I ask something real quick? Hey, can I ask something real quick? Sounds rude, a little bit, and too informal. Yeah, so let's make it smoother and more respectful of their conversation. Yeah. So what is the most polite way to interrupt two people who are speaking? I'm sure that you know some phrasal verbs. I'm sure that you know the phrase, sorry, may I interrupt you? But let's come up with something else. So, well, of course, what you know. Let me know what you know. Yeah. Don't forget about the main point of today's lesson is acknowledging other people. Oh, I see hearts. Thank you for the hearts. I really appreciate your support because you hype me up during live streams and then it actually motivates me and it helps me keep going, you know? So, yeah. And this is the way I know that you are there, that you are interested as well. And that I'm doing the right thing here, of course. So, okay, so far, of course, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me start again. Excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Karen, could I borrow you for just 30 seconds when you're free? Excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Karen, any name of your colleague, of course, I chose Karen for today. Maybe I've seen too many reels about Karen. It's a joke. I hope that you know about it. Could I borrow you for just 30 seconds when you're free? Okay. And then another one. I have to interrupt, but this is time sensitive. Rude, yes. Yeah. I had to interrupt, but this is time sensitive. Karen, do you have a moment? Okay. Okay. So this phrase is actually magic. Yeah. I'm so sorry to interrupt, or I hate to interrupt. I'm sure that you know this verb. Yeah. So you are showing people that you know you are breaking their flow and you respect it. And also being specific shows you won't take much of their time, because as in the first example, could I borrow you for just 30 seconds? You see, so they know exact time, kind of. Yeah, of course it's not going to take 30 seconds, it is going to take more for sure, but they at least know the amount of time they are going to be busy with you, or they are going to be interrupted by you. So, and you identify that you won't take much of their time. And when you do this, your voice should be a little quieter than normal to show difference, right? Like, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me drink water. So, yeah, a little bit quieter, a little bit apologetic. Yeah, excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Karen, could I borrow you for just 30 seconds when you're free? And also, by the way, when you say when you're free, like, you give this person the feeling that they're in charge. Like, you tell them that I need you for 30 seconds, but only when you decide that you are free. So, like, you show them that they're in charge. You give them this power. And this is very nice. It's very pleasant for another person to understand that, like, they are in charge there. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Amazing work today. Yeah, you have mastered this formality switch. I hope that you really enjoyed this lesson. I hope that it is useful and you will use these phrases. As for example, Dimitri, who joins all my live streams, and I see that I'm sorry, Dimitri, I don't know if you're a man or a woman, so they are using phrases from our previous live streams. This is amazing. I love to see this progress, and I'd love to see you all at my next live streams. So, of course, the last one. I have to do this switch for the last time, but I want to say thank you so much for joining. Thanks for your participation. Thanks for joining me in this live chat. I hope that this lesson was valuable for you, and please show your support by hitting this like button, and then it will help other professionals find this lesson. So if you're new here, if you are seeing me for the first time, my name is Tanya. I am from English with Speaker, and here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Budapest time we have live streams and I teach you different things. Oh my god, it's getting darker. I just saw, Okay, so have a good day, have a good week. If you have any ideas for other live streams, please let me know below this live stream. I will read all your ideas. I will take them seriously because you need this help and I'm here for you to help. So far, See you next time. Bye bye.